I had a baby with a married man. Our son is now 2 years old. I met his dad at work. He's a pilot and I'm a flight attendant. I worked with him several times and we started spending time together on our layovers. I didn't know he was married until I was already attached. I was going to end it, but he told me he was getting a divorce, and then I found out I was pregnant. At first, I accepted it. It was, and I'm in love with him. He treated me well. He showed interest in the baby. I wanted to raise my son in the best situation I could, so I could continue our relationship. I'm aware it's my fault, but I thought it was my best option. It hurts me that he's living and sleeping with another woman while I've been 100% loyal to him. I used to bring him leaving her up and he didn't promise it, but he didn't say no either. I don't understand why she stays with him. Sunday we took a walk in the park with our son. He asked why I was so depressed lately. I told him that reality is hitting me. He won't get married and our son won't have a mother and father who are legally together. I told him I didn't want this forever. He told me, what option do you have? You're beautiful, but your top priority is the boy. That's fine with me because he's my son, but no other man is going to tolerate that. I don't regret my baby, but I am starting to view our relationship differently. I am tired of this. See, it sounds like he trapped her OP with a baby, knowing damn well that she wasn't going to probably leave him for the child's sake. Men who do stuff like these are honestly the worst and are the scum of the earth. Anyways, on to the next story. Am I wrong for not giving a family engagement ring to my stepsister who got engaged before me? When my dad proposed to my mom, my paternal grandparents, aka dad's parents, gave him a ring from their family to propose to mom with. My grandparents adored my mom and saw her as a daughter. They had 4 boys and wanted to welcome her to the family with the ring. She treasured it, and before she died, she and they had discussed my grandparents keeping it safe for me. After my mom died, my dad remarried. His second wife was upset that she wasn't offered the ring like my mom was. My grandparents explained that it was being kept safe for me, as the last owner had one of her only child, aka me, to have it. My dad's wife came into the marriage with a daughter just like dad had me. I was 9 and she was 7. We're now 22, me and her 20. My stepsister got engaged a few weeks ago. Her boyfriend proposed without a ring because he wanted her pick out one. She decided to ask dad if she could have the family engagement ring. He asked my grandparents and they said no. His wife told my grandparents it may not be me, but the ring would still be going to their granddaughter. They said not the granddaughter it was intended for, and my stepsister was not my mom's daughter. Therefore, she would not be entitled to it, and my mom would have hated to see it go to my stepsister. When speaking to my grandparents failed, my dad and his wife came to me. My stepsister was upset that they didn't overrule what my mom wanted. She has some abandonment issues. Her dad abandoned her. Neither side of her biological family want her, and my grandparents and uncles are the only extended family she ever had, but she always felt like they favored me because of how much they loved my mom and how often they spoke about her and about us, me and the mom. Them turning her down really got her down. So my dad and his wife wanted me to make it up to her and wanted me to take the ring and then give it to her. My dad said it would mean so much to my stepsister, and while it would mean I don't get the ring, I could still get another ring and it would make a family member happy. His wife said they had both lived in mom's shadow from day one, and this could be a time where they are not treated as secondary to my mom. She said her daughter always adored me and never saw me as a stepsister, and it hurt her that I never saw her as a sister. She said I could do this and make her feel loved like she deserves. I refused to give my stepsister the ring, and my dad and his wife told me I was being selfish and hurtful. Am I wrong? Honestly, OP is not being wrong, because where do people get the audacity and the entitlement to act like this? Because there was a story once on Reddit where this man wanted to give his late wife's dresses, like handmade beautiful dresses, to his stepdaughter, which that wasn't supposed to be happening because the dresses were meant for his own daughter, and the stepdaughter wanted to get married, so she tried to take the dress, and the dad got upset. Like, where do people get this entire, like, whether you have abandonment issues or not, at the end of the day, this is family issues. This has nothing to do with you, and this is her mom. She left it for her daughter. Like, what exactly do you want her to do? And on top of that, the gaslighting is killing me. Oh, she's not your stepsister. She sees you as a real sister and you're not treating her like that. Honestly, no. Next story. Am I wrong for cutting in line when getting off a plane? I had a flight yesterday that got delayed, so I had a really tight window to make my connecting flight, like less than 10 minutes. I knew I was going to basically just have to sprint off the plane and directly to my next gate. Unfortunately, my seat was in the very, very back of the small plane. As soon as the seatbelt light turned off, I jumped off my seat with my bag and moved toward the front of the plane as fast as I could. I didn't shove anyone out of the way, but I did ask to squeeze by a few people, apologized, and explained that I had a very tight connection. Everyone was willing to let me get through. Once I got to the door, some guy behind me started yelling that I should just wait my turn. Since there's a lot of people with tight connections, I explained that I didn't really have time to compare everyone's schedule, but he maintained that I was being an a-hole and should have just waited my turn. Am I the a-hole? Is this some unwritten rule of plane etiquette I didn't know about? I would understand if I was shoving people aside or cutting people who were waiting, but I don't see what's wrong with moving forward an empty aisle. I'm sorry, but I would have done the same thing, so... Am I wrong for not giving my engagement ring to my dead fiance's family? I was engaged to John after dating for 4 years. When he proposed, the ring he used was 2 sizes too big. We went to the store that he bought it from 2 weeks before proposing. He kept this receipt, got in the right size, and kept same style. We did plan to have wedding after 3 years of planning and saving. 10 months after the proposal, John passed away in a car accident. I used the savings for wedding to pay for his funeral. The day after the funeral, John's brother came to me asking for the ring. I asked why. His response was that the ring had been passed down their family for 5 generations. Told him that was BS because I have proof of the ring was brought for me less than a year ago. We argued for a bit and he then stormed off. Then I get calls from John's family saying I'm a liar and I'm demanding the ring. And then I got a letter from their lawyer. In the letter, they also demanded that I reimburse them for cost of John's funeral. So I got myself a lawyer, showed the proof about the ring, and I paid for the funeral in court, and I won. I thought the madness was over until John's sister recently messaged me. She and her BF are engaged but haven't gotten a ring and she wants John's ring. After I said no, she went crazy and messaging nonstop demanding. I have blocked her over and over, but she finds a way around it. I was having brunch with my friend. My mobile was on the table. A message from sister popped up and my friend saw it. My friend knows everything, but before sister's first message, I explained about her message. Friend believes I am the a-hole and I should give her the ring. She told my other friends and they're all saying the same thing. Now I'm doubting myself. Am I the wrong? How are you wrong for keeping something that was brought for you specifically? Like, had this been a ring that was in their family, even as like greedy and selfish that might be to take a ring, engagement ring, especially from a dead family member's fiance, even like that would be understandable. This is sentimental. This is in their family. This is something that belonged to them. That would make sense. But the guy, your OP's fiance, bought her this ring specifically. So whether they were to get, whether the engagement was to be called off or whether he was to die, in this case he did die, that's her item and her stuff. Like, that's her property. Why would she give it to anybody? And they're not even asking like, oh, this is like an item that's going to be, important to us as a family because it's something that was important to John. Can we, maybe keep it or something? Like, that would be more understandable, but give us the ring and then lying about it, especially, and then harassing you more even when you won in court. That's insane.